Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is Sunday, March the 3rd. I know the markets are closed and all, but um, if you want to make money off of the markets, you gotta put in the work first. It's not like you just sit in front of your computer and eventually you'll make money. No, you gotta give time to charts. You gotta try and understand what a chart wants to do in the future. Try and figure it out because that's what we do, right? We go with the probability of our analysis that a specific currency is going to do this and that in the coming period of time, right? So this is what I do every weekend. I just thought if I am going to do it, might as well just record it and put it out there for if anyone comes across it and it helps them with their trading routine and all, right? So here's a brief explanation of what I'm looking to do today. Is I'm going to go through the economic calendar of the coming week. That's starting tomorrow. It's a very busy week. There is going to be a lot of major news events that are coming out next week. It's the first week of the month. Uh, very busy. Going to be very busy weeks starting Wednesday or maybe before that. But there's a lot of news coming out. So we have three major news events coming out this week. Let's just go through the economic calendar and see what all is there. So Monday there is not a lot of stuff happening. I mean, you can see that there are medium impact news events uh, all throughout Monday, and not a lot of them either. So you move on to Tuesday. There's Tokyo Core CPI. Then you have a bit of news during Asia, and then, but all of that is medium impact news. It could move the markets. I will be watching these currencies around the news time, and as the price action shows up, we'll try and figure out what we want to do. But nothing, high impact other than this, right? Global Service PMI on dollar on Tuesday. This is it, and then PMI. So this is happening on Tuesday, and if you move on to Wednesday now, so there's a couple of speeches in the morning. Then you have, I mean, during Asia, towards the close of New York and during Asia, and then you have some GDP on Aussie. You have some high impact news on pound, and then you have non-farm employment. What? Yeah, non-farm employment change on dollar, and you have interest rate on CAD, right? Very high impact news. Interest rate on CAD, and then Powell is testifying about something. I don't know what, but I know that he's going to speak, and that's going to move the markets, and could be impactful. Job openings on Wednesday, and then we have this press conference is also pretty important. Um, that's pretty much about it for Wednesday, and then Thursday we have uh, euro interest rate on Thursday. And again, initial jobless claims we've seen multiple times always moves the markets. I think Powell is testifying again. Yeah, so Powell speaking on Thursday too, and then this ECB president is speaking. So there's a lot of high volatility news coming out on Thursday, and then we move on to Friday, first Friday of the month. We have NFP, right? Uh, so basically, we have three high impact news events coming out next week. We have Euro's interest rate, we have CAD's interest rate, and we have NFP. Now it could, and of course, Powell testifying and all. It could move other currencies too, but logically, if you talk about it, the news that is related to whichever currency, it's logically it should impact that specific currency the most, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through all the euros, all the CADs, and all the dollars on a higher time frame, daily, probably weekly. Uh, as we go to the charts, we'll see, right? So let's dig into it. We're gonna go through the dollar first. This is the dollar. Yeah, this is the dollar. Okay. So in the meanwhile, while I'm doing this, I have a notepad. I'm taking little notes of what I'm reading right now and what I might be interested in the coming week, and I keep referring back to this notebook throughout the week. So just want to let you guys know. Okay, uh, let's take a look at this on weekly. So weekly is basically a buyer, right? On Aussie dollar, we have pretty much this hereabouts that went all the way up to there. Uh, but if you come down to daily, this is a lot of chopping around from the buyer that eventually gets taken out by the seller. So what I'm really interested in is seeing how the price behaves here. I did take a trade on this last week, but that didn't go all the way. I'm aiming for the price to come all the way down to here at least, if not lower. But it depends on how the price unfolds in the coming future. This is what we're trying to figure out what it might do. Price action might negate all of what you're analyzing right now, right? So it's not a fixated uh, thing that the price is definitely going to do what you're analyzing is going to do, but you got to put in the work, right? And if you talk about this specific chart right now, if we just go with the price analysis, it's recent downtrend with a seller in control. uh, I wouldn't count this a lower low. So if seller sells from up there and comes all the way down to here, and this is not a lower low or break of structure or whatever you want to call it, because it just faked out and just came right back in and then up went higher than this, right? Went higher than this, and this is buyers being introduced into the markets. So as it goes higher than this, if you go lower on, let's say 240, we can clearly see that it's breaking multiple structures from up in here. um, and if you go back to the daily, we can clearly see how choppy this move higher is, right? Takes so long, so much effort going all the way up to there, and then the seller just comes in and sweeps everything out, right? It just takes the seller 1 second to sweep everything out. So I'll be looking to get in on the sell side on this, but we'll see how the price reacts. So this area is basically very important. If you take, yeah, this area is extremely important. So I would want to see some buys starting to happen as the week opens, and then some sort of a rollover around these areas, and then it starts to go lower again. This is what I'll be looking to do on Aussie dollar. So noted it down, and moving on to the next dollar now. Euro dollar. Okay. Uh, the video is going to be a little lengthy, but please bear with me because this is what I do. So I'm just recording the time that I'm spending on the charts. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Okay. More or less the same thing as Aussie dollar. So if it's this seller that came all the way down to here and this is not a lower low, you're basically inside where the price is deciding for the longer run, right? So it's right now, if you take a look at it on daily, it's this seller and this buyer that went through this resistance, and now they're gonna fight for the final direction, right? It's not just gonna go, they're gonna fight for the final direction now. And if the final direction is that way, then we're gonna have to see it pull through this, break through this, and then do some sort of a pullback to go higher. And of course, that's what my bias is right now, because again, if we go with the same thing as Aussie dollar, it's recent downtrend where the last seller sold from here all the way down to there, and now you're inside a tricky area, if we may call it. The price could go either way from this area. If it goes lower, the targets are all the way down to here. If you take a look at it on a lower time frame, you can see the seller is starting to pick up momentum. It could come all the way up to here as Aussie dollar. It could break through this, come into hereabouts, uh, or even go through this. Let me just, I'm sorry, it's just a lot of drawings that are going to keep coming up, so just bear with me. Okay. So it could just do another push of the buys, another push for the buys to, again, so many names for such a simple thing, uh, just to introduce more buyers to the market so that the bigger sell can make money. You can call it liquidity, you can call it anything. So what I will want to see is buys start to take place into hereabouts, and then you know, to break a structure or stuff like that. Just break structure. Basically, what does that mean? Breaking a structure in this downtrend, a break of structure or BOS or change of character or whatever, right? Basically, what is it? It's in this uptrend, within this big downtrend. When is the downtrend getting in control again? Right? The logic of it, if you think of it this way, is that if the price is making higher highs and higher lows, that is buyer in control. In this bigger downtrend, when is this bigger downtrend going to come back and be in control? So this is your little downtrend in that big, uptrend in that big downtrend, right? And as it comes to a specific point, and we call this break of structure, but what does it logically mean? It means that this seller is now interested. You can give it any name you want. That doesn't really matter. What matters is the logic behind it, right? So it just chops up higher, again, inside a tricky area of where the price can go anywhere from here, right? So, but my bias on this is that of a sell. We'll see what happens. Moving on to the next dollar. That would be pound dollar. Okay. Same thing, same story here again. In this bigger downtrend, this is the buyer. So look at this, right? This is the buyer that is still in control. This buyer is not letting the price go. You can clearly see it's this buyer that goes all the way up to here. No higher high, no lower low either, right? No higher high, no lower low. Chops, chops, chops. Seller hits it. So if you logically look at it, at this moment, seller is in control. He's challenging this buyer to, let's see what you can do. And so far, the buyer has not been able to do anything. It just, keeps getting weaker and weaker. It's putting in lower lows. I'm sorry, lower highs. I always get confused with this. And then if you talk in terms of patterns, it's just, a bull flag or a bear flag, I don't know. But it's just chopping around at the moment, right? That is what I know. That after this, and then coming up all the way up to here, it goes sideways. After this buyer bought, let me just, sorry. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this should be enough. One more time, maybe. All right, yeah. Clean and perfect. Okay, so the logic of what I'm talking about is that this buyer bought in all of this uptrend coming to say hi to this downtrend, right? If you look at it that way, it's coming to say hi to wherever the biggest seller is sitting in. And he's asking him, let's see what you can do. And then this seller, if he's coming back to talk to this buyer to see what he can do. And so far, he's been unable to do anything. So the price could do one last buy and then roll over to go lower, just go lower and then pull back. But bias is to the downside on this at the moment. As the price unfolds with the news events and all, we'll see what happens. Right? Okay, moving on to another dollar, that is New Zealand dollar, US dollar. This is basically something that I've been wanting to sell for since the beginning of last week. I've been wanting to sell this since the beginning of last week, and I did make a video about it too. Targets on the initial trade was all the way down to here, but looking at what the rest of the dollars are doing at the moment, it could go low and then continue to go all the way down to here. So there's a lot of area available for this seller to take the prices lower. That's what it looks like at the moment. You can read the momentum. You can see how long it takes to go all the way up to there, and then 1, 2, 3 days all the way back. Right? Takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, more than a week. Takes more than a week to go all the way up to there, and then just drops dead. Right? All the signs of prices could uh, maybe come a little higher into hereabouts and then go lower. But been wanting to sell it for a long time, long time. You all know it. You've seen it in the video if you've seen the video, right? Was really interested up in here. Let's see if it gives us another opportunity. Let's see. But the bias is that of a sell on this too. Gonna go through. Oh, did we do 2 New Zealand dollars? Where is? So we've done Aussie dollar. Let's just. I'm sorry. We've done Aussie dollar. We've done Euro dollar. We've done pound dollar. We've done New Zealand dollar. There is another New Zealand dollar sitting here. I don't know why. We'll have to change it. Then we have dollar CAD and dollar yen. So what we don't have is dollar Swiss franc. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, looks like a very nice uptrend is forming. Um, This is the buyer that is in control. The price came all the way down here, could not do anything. Maybe hereabouts, maybe a little lower, but this is also going higher for now. Recent highs, if not higher highs. So another dollar that looks like it's going to buy next week. Let's go through dollar CAD. Okay. Again, dollar CAD. I took a trade on dollar CAD. I think hereabouts. No, down here. Yeah. Somewhere in here I took a trade on dollar CAD that basically made some money, and then it just dropped down. Now it's all the way up to here. What I want to see is price go higher than this and then pull back to go higher, because it is at a critical visual point right now. So I don't really know, right? But it looks like it's this buyer in control so far. That is what it looks like at the moment. So I'm not really sure about dollar CAD, but again, bringing into context what we've gone through about $4 before this, and in fact $5 before this, and all of those dollars want to buy, right? So all the rest of the dollars want to buy. So let's see what this does. Looks like it could buy, but I'm not sure, so not gonna get too fixated on this at the moment. But then you have CAD interest rate before dollar interest rate, and that could break through this area. I'm sorry, NFP, and that could I'm sorry, CAD interest rate before NFP, so that could break through this area on Wednesday and then pull back for Friday to continue. And then the targets, if this does happen, the targets could be all the way up to there. Yeah, all the way to the top of the range, right? So we'll see what happens. Looking good for buys for now. The last dollar is dollar yen. Now about dollar yen, uh, I am a little confused, although it's pretty clear that just like dollar Swiss franc, it's this buyer, and the price came all the way down here. But if you go through the yens the way I'm going through dollars right now, if you go through them in your own time, you'll be able to see why I'm a little confused about dollar yen. I'll just quickly walk you through yen towards the end of the video, and maybe you can figure it out then, right? So I'm not really sure what dollar yen wants to do. Basically, I do not really like to trade dollar Swiss and yen. I mean dollar Swiss or dollar yen. I want to trade them with other currencies, not safe havens with safe havens, right? So it's just a thing that I came up uh, on my own with. Anyway, we've been through dollars, and the bias for dollar for the next week is a dollar buy. Let's quickly go through gold too. Did a massive buy on Friday. Massive buy on Friday. So I'm not really sure what this wants to do, but if you look at it, it's just at the top of a range, so it could, with a big question mark. because of the momentum for the buys is so strong at the moment, it could start to slowly sell. But you know, you never know. With gold, you never know. But it is at the top of a range, so this buy could just be to uh, induce fear in the markets that is, so strong. How can I sell, right?